what should their fifth weight loss surgery be? I said, there shouldn't have been a fourth weight loss surgery. There shouldn't have been a third weight loss surgery. Hi everybody, Dr. Duc Vuong here, world famous bariatric surgeon, author of 13 books, 12 books, with 3 more in the pipeline. I was on the hit TV show, TLC TV show called 900 Pound Man Race Against Time. You can check that out. It's still available. I have a lot of content for free online. I help fill the information gap between surgeons and patients. A lot of good surgeons, a lot of really wonderful patients who are trying to better their lives, but there's a big gap between the two. Surgeons speak one language, obesity patients speak a different type of language. In between is this pretty face right here, right? In between is me, trying to fill that gap for you guys, right? So today I'd like to talk about the future of weight loss surgery as I see it, because as we're moving forward into different countries, we have to learn from our past mistakes. Now, I don't mean that the lap band was a mistake. I mean that the lack of education was a mistake. The lack of patient preparation is a mistake. I can guarantee it. There are still surgeons, unfortunately too many of them, who don't really demand an extensive preoperative program. And this is apart from what insurances require or institutions require. Now, I'm not talking about the minimal insurance requirement bullshit stuff that has to get done. I mean like intensive, realistic education that's going to need to be required. And by education, I really mean demonstrable, measurable changes. And I don't mean lifestyle, because lifestyle, when you're morbidly obese, BMI 55 or 50, 45, 50, it's really a meaningless term. So I'll say that one more time. When you're dealing with the morbidly obese population, the term lifestyle change is a meaningless term. It's kind of like telling an alcoholic, well, why don't you just stop drinking? Telling an obese person, it's really all about a lifestyle change. It doesn't mean anything, right? So what we need to start having conversations about, it's about really deep, heart-centered, in the South we call it come into Jesus talk. Like really meaningful, impactful conversation about, number one, how did a person get to a BMI of 60? How did a person get to a point where they feel like food is their only friend, yet food is still a punishment, if that makes sense. Like it's a punishment. You don't want it. You don't want to eat that much. You need to lose weight. You need to get healthier, although for some reason you can't. I mean, that's a psychological bond. Wouldn't you agree? And that's the conversation we need to have. Now, what I want to do is give you some examples of why this is important. So the Middle East has become a major hotbed for weight loss surgery, and countries like the Middle East and territories, as well as countries like India. So what we're seeing is conversations by seeing surgeons in our professional groups and private groups and professional societies. We're starting to see questions like, well, I have this patient. This is a Indian or Middle Eastern surgeon posting a question. I have a patient whose BMI is 69. She couldn't lose any weight prior to weight loss surgery. Despite a strict diet, had XYZ surgery and now is having XYZ problem. What would you do? Dr. Vuong chimes in and says, what do you mean they couldn't lose any weight despite a strict preoperative diet? The answer is you shouldn't have fucking operated on them. Nah, Dr. Vuong, that's me because they need help. We're surgeons after all. Their BMI is 69. They're going to die. They're going to die because of you, young surgeon. They're going to die because you operated on them with a BMI of 69 and reaffirming to them that they were powerless against food. You're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting the surgeon up for failure, but more importantly, you're setting the patient up for failure. I have over 13 patients who lost 100 pounds or more. We call them the Century Club. 100 pounds or more prior to weight loss surgery. Because I required it. They needed to do it, right? Not all of them. Some of them just needed to lose 50 pounds, and they were like, this is going good. I'll just keep going. And they get the century mark, 100 pounds. I remember a post in one of our Facebook group, surgeon asking, what would you do? This is their post. What would you do? This patient had XYZ surgery back in 1995, had another surgery back in 2000, had another surgery back in 2003, had another surgery back in 2005. What options are left? Their BMI is still 45. What should their fifth weight loss surgery be? I said, there shouldn't have been a fourth weight loss surgery. There shouldn't have been a third weight loss surgery. That's what we're dealing with right now. That's the future of weight loss surgery. It's the revisions and the complications and the weight regain. And I'm telling you, the surgeons, the medical complex, they are too rooted in the belief that the doctor knows best. That we're surgeons, we cure by the scalpel. That if a patient has a problem, send them to a psychiatrist because one visit with a psychiatrist will somehow fix their psychological dependency on food. To which the psychologists and psychiatrists are all freaking laughing. But they're also complicit in this ruse. And what will happen is now that weight loss surgery is becoming much more mainstream, we're going to have I almost said fucking, a bunch more train wrecks, train disasters, people looking for their third, fourth weight loss surgeries. And at some point, as a society, we need to be more disciplined and say, no, stop. It's not unlimited number of surgeries, not unlimited number of weight loss surgeries. You can, there has to be some sort of personal accountability. Now, when people are going to hear me say that, they're going to say, Dr. Vuong, you're blaming the patient again. I used to go, no, I'm not trying to blame the patient. I know obesity is a disease. I think I'm at the point where I want to go, you know what? I am fucking blaming the patient. But I'm also blaming the surgeon. I'm also blaming the dietitians who keep telling people to drink Premier Protein shakes. I'm still, I think I'm blaming the manufacturers, the pharmaceutical companies. I think I'm blaming it all. I think I'm blaming myself. I think I'm blaming myself for not waking up sooner to this. I think I'm blaming myself for not writing more books. I think I'm blaming myself for not getting more people to come to my conferences to learn. I think we all have a role to play in this. And because of that, we all have a role. We all share a burden of the responsibility. One of the things we need to fucking stamp out right now is this whole notion of obesity, of fat shaming. That has become rampant and is very negative for us. By us, I mean by people trying to lose weight, by weight loss surgery patients. Do not get involved in the movement against fat shaming. It is, again, another thing where you're trying to deflect responsibility from the person. Now, you shouldn't be making fun of people because of their obesity, or making fun of them or mocking them or whatever because of their obesity. That just means you're a dick. You're just an asshole. If you're going to do that to someone who's obese, you're going to also do that to someone who's homeless, or someone who's poor, or someone who has other issues. That the person making fun of the obese person, that person is just an asshole. You don't have to call it fat shaming. And this whole movement of fat shaming is building a cavern between us. It's dividing us, right? As a society, it's dividing us, and we need to really fight against it. What I am about is empowering the person, the individual. And every time that we say shit like fat shaming or Me Too or Survivor, don't get me started on pink ribbons and cancer survivor. It really hurts us. Now, some of y'all watching are cancer survivors and might take offense to what I just said. So give me a second to clarify, because my dad died of colon cancer at a very young age, 65. And he still had a lot left in him to give. So before people start hating on me, thinking that I'm a cancer survivor hater, I'm not. What I want you to understand is that in the United States, at least, every single year, football players, athletes, celebrities, marathons, all sorts of events are held for pink ribbons, where people wear pink shirts, pink ribbons. They've got doctors wearing, pink scrub suits right now, trying to raise awareness for cancer, for example. And it can be anything. I'm not picking on cancer, but to raise awareness about cancer. Let me ask you this question. Who the fuck does not know about cancer? Is there somebody out there who doesn't understand that cancer is bad, that you can die from cancer? People still go outside without sunscreen. People still drink a ton of alcohol. That's liver cancer. People still smoke cigarettes. But yet when we wear pink shirts and pink scrubs and pink ribbons, somehow we think we're doing something. We think it makes us feel better because I did a run and I raised money for a cancer organization, but we never stop to say, did that really change anything? Did it really change anything? Did that money get to the people it needed to go to? I'm not sure it has. But more importantly, from my standpoint, it makes people feel like they did some good when we really know that it really hasn't. Not on a long term. Okay? So, my point is to say this. We need to quit this bullshit, fluff, surface stuff and start talking about and dealing with the actual root problems. I want us to really find a fucking cure for cancer, but we can't because medical companies make a bunch of money when people get cancer. I hate to say that because my dad had cancer, but it's true. Big companies keep people sick with diabetes. You understand that your diabetes medicines does not cure you of diabetes. Your insulin injection does not cure you of diabetes. Your blood pressure medicine you're taking does not cure you of high blood pressure. But do you know what does? Meditation will cure you of high blood pressure. Losing weight will cure you of high blood pressure. Kicking your abusive husband to the curb will cure you of high blood pressure. Making more money and paying your bills on time will cure you of high blood pressure. Spending time with your family so that your kid doesn't end up on drugs will cure your blood pressure, high blood pressure. Yes? Y'all get my point? You understand my point? So, having another weight loss surgery is not going to cure your obesity. Understanding why you make the choices you make is the start. Now, how do you understand the choices you make? Because we all intuitively know that you should not be eating the donut if you want to lose weight. If you want to be healthy, you'll understand you should not be eating McDonald's. But for whatever reason, you feel trapped or don't have the ability to make the healthier choice. And sometimes, some people don't even know what that healthier choice is. Think about this, because you watching me are on a journey for your better health, amen? Which means you're a little bit more awake than Uncle Billy, who's sitting next to you shoving a double Big Mac in his pie hole. You're a little bit more awake to the fact that maybe that fast food is killing you. But not Uncle Billy. Uncle Billy's still going, it tastes too good to give up. It's my favorite. And then Uncle Billy doesn't understand why his blood pressure is through the roof, why his cholesterol is 300, why he has sleep apnea, why he got laid off because he kept falling asleep in the afternoon after lunch instead of doing his work. So, the first thing you have to understand is maybe the person you're talking to isn't awake enough. They aren't enlightened enough to know that there's a problem. They don't know what the healthier choice is. They know that chips are not a good choice, but they don't know what a healthier choice is. So let me ask you a question. What is a healthier snacking choice other than chips, potato chips? Because everybody knows potato chips are addictive. They're salty, crispy, crunchy, deliciousness, grease on your fingers, grease all over around here, your mouth, like that. But what is a healthier snack option? Someone tell me. What is the healthiest snack option? Instead of potato chips, what is the healthiest snack option? Anyone know? A lot of people are going to sit there and say broccoli, carrot sticks, fresh fruit, and apple. The answer is this: no snacking. No snacking. Think about that. If you have an alcoholic and it's 4 p.m. and the alcoholic goes, oh my God, I really need a drink. You would not go to the alcoholic and say, hey, have a mini. You know these little mini cocktail drinks that girls sneak into the movie theaters? Just have a mini. Just have one little shot. Oh, I just read the latest research, Drunk Bob. And the latest research says a glass of wine is healthy for you. So here, have a glass of wine. You would never do that for an alcoholic, would you? So why the fuck do we do it for an obese person? Hey, have a protein bar. Because we're trying to sell you a product. We're trying to, quote unquote, solve your problem. You want a snack, but you're unwilling to eat fruit. So here's a protein bar because we all know protein's important for you. No, it's not. No one ever dies of protein malnutrition. Not anymore. Unless you're living in like a third world country. So they're trying to sell you something. And then in our industry, it's caught on. Like you need a snack. You need to eat 5 small meals a day. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't need to eat 5 small meals a day. But I had a gastric bypass, Dr. Vuong. Good for you. You still don't need to eat 5 times a day. Hey, Uncle Bob, I know you're an alcoholic, but instead of drinking the whole bottle of vodka at one sitting, can you spread it out throughout the day? Just spread the, like, can you drink all day long, like just one shot every few hours? That makes no sense. So why do you do that to an obese person? Hey, Mrs. Obese person, you've demonstrated that for years you've had a terrible ability to make good food choices. So I got this brilliant idea. I want you to try to make healthy food choices not once a day, not twice a day, not 3 times a day, but 6 times a day. Can you make a healthy food choice 6 times a day? No, you can't. I can't. And besides, who would want to? Who wants to eat chicken 6 times a day? Come on. So then the medical industry says, let me make it easier for you. Just drink this protein shake. It's got 30 grams of protein in it for you. It's got 12 vitamins. Yeah, it's also got a shelf life of 3 months. Think about that. What the hell lives on the shelf for 3 months? Right? Think about it. Oh, so moving forward, if we don't get a handle on this craziness that's happening, imagine how popular weight loss surgery is becoming. Just the rise. Imagine how popular it's becoming. Yes? Now imagine all the bad information, all the misinformation that these people who've had weight loss surgery are now lost and looking for information. And start understanding the propagation of the bad information, what's going to be happening in the future, more revisions, more complaints, more problems. When you could have just fucking spent $20 and got a Dr. V book, or come to the weekend workshop, or for free, just go on YouTube and watch my YouTube channel. Or I have a $7 online course, $7 that gets people prepared for surgery. It's going to talk about what to do in the hospital, what to do when you get home from the hospital, what to do your first month of the hospital, how you're going to feel when you need to go back to work, why your weight loss stalls that 4 to 6 week period, and how do you get back on track when it's time, when you fall off track. That's $7. And people won't pay for it because they think their surgeon knows what they're talking about. I'm going to tell you the reason why they won't pay for the $7 online course. Anyone know? They don't think they're worth it or it's worth it. They want to believe that their program is doing right by them and preparing them. And I'm telling you, it's not. There's too much of a gap, too much of a deficiency. It's not an indictment on any one surgeon. It is an indictment on all of us as a society. We've let our people down. We've let our people down. Now, there are healthier options, but there are some truths. There's a saying that says, there's a Buddhist teaching that says, obesity is nothing more than a manifestation of all of our suffering. And the more that I do this and the more that I work with you, the more I understand that it's true. Obesity is nothing more than the manifestation of all of our suffering. And if we are to beat this disease, then we will have to deal with all of our suffering. That is where the cure lies. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.